Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings. And today's video, we're going to be talking about what Shiba Inu has been doing here over the past 24 hours. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to do an update, so without further ado, let's get right into it. If you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and sub for more daily Shib vids. Alright folks, so if you guys have not already seen what we are working with here, Shib is down around 10% here on the day, and you guys can see this on coin market cap, of course, here. And really, a 10% decrease is, again, definitely not good by any means, but I'm actually liking the pattern here that I think we are going to potentially see with this chart, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. So in terms of market cap, again, down 10%, that has been a bit of a fatal blow in terms of ranking wise, because I definitely was pretty sure we were going to, overtake Avalanche, Terra, and Dogecoin at a certain point, but it might just be a little while longer before that happens because unfortunately that hit in terms of market cap has sent us, of course, to the 13 spot. It looks as if we'll be stuck at 13 for a little while. In terms of volume, we're down 51% here over the past 24 hours. And really, volume in that sense is indicative of just overall interest sometimes in the crypto. Because really, what happens is when the volume surges, sure, there's a lot more buy volume and whatnot, but oftentimes there's a lot more sell volume to match. So a high volume day is not always a good thing. It really depends on what type of volume it is. And currently, again, out of the 51%, decrease here, unfortunately, there is still a little more sell volume than there is buy volume, and that is why we are at around 10% down on the day. But when we look at historical data, looking at, historical days here and whatnot, you guys can see in terms of volume, some of these days have been absolutely bonkers, sky high in terms of buying and selling. Of course, the 30th being a major day with the Kraken listing and all that, a little over $9 billion. So that was crazy. And again, definitely responsible for the surge that we saw in Shiba Inu's price. Now, before I go any further, guys, make sure to check out Webull. Top of the link down below in the description if you guys want to get started trading stocks, crypto, including SHIB, all that good stuff. And for a limited time, Webull is giving away some shares of Apple. So if you guys use my link down below in the description, you guys may potentially get a free share of Apple for signing up. If not, you'll get another free stock or whatnot. So definitely check it out. Top of the link down below in the description. All right, folks. So in terms of our graph here, there is a lot to unpack, but really what I want people to sort of notice here is the fact that, yes, this could still do two very major, very important things. Now, the first major important thing that this movement could do, and again, this movement is essentially a fresh start. It's a clean slate, because really, when we draw our line here all the way from 38 up to 54, this is a very big, major movement that really doesn't have anything to do with anything that went on here. As weird as that sounds, it really doesn't. It was directly a result of the Kraken listing and Kraken hype and whatnot. So that surge here, this flag, all the way from 38 up to around 54, really is a thing of its own. So when we chart this out, we have to keep that in mind. So we go up here all the way, our little flagpole here, and then it is very possible that this could still end up just being a bull flag. And again, this isn't quite as neat and pretty as it would normally look on Google, but I mean, if you were to draw it out and have a full extended bull flag here and then a surge, that is very possible. Again, is it the most safe bet? Not really. It's hard to say whether or not, people will be overly enthusiastic about SHIB when it's at 36 or whatnot, but just the idea that it is conceivably possible and that this is a historic movement, and it is historically accurate that in instances there has been, movements like this that have just erupted. So that is very possible in one scenario, potentially being a bull flag. Now, another scenario that comes to my mind, and I think a lot of people may have potentially noticed here, is the fact that this, in a way here, does seem to resemble the possible makings of an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So when we look here, we have a neckline, which inevitably leads to a breakout, and of course, the volume increases once the price breaks above resistance. So this is what an inverse head and shoulders pattern would look like. Here's another example. We have the head here, it could either be rounded or it could not be rounded. In a couple examples, it's rounded. one here, it's a V or whatnot. So the head really just has to be a dip, but in multiple instances, again, there is in multiple instances, again, we have a neckline to pass after having gone through multiple shoulders. So we have the head, which I could see being here, very well could see being here. Then we have one shoulder, and then of course, if we head up, we could have another shoulder here, and then, you know, this would be the break line, and we could definitely break out of it, and that would be a pretty excellent breakout. So the moral of the story here, what I'm, you know, trying to sort of get across is that yes, there is tons of potential still for all of this to end up working out well and having a bull run within a week. It is extremely possible. Is it possible we see some kind of bearish movement? Yes, it is completely possible as well. And, you know, in that instance, you would probably see some kind of ascending triangle, which would lead, you know, usually if you were seeing kind of a bearish movement, it would be an ascending triangle where, you know, you have a bottom that is going up and a top that is staying completely the same. Usually after something like this, you end up experiencing some bearish movement downwards. So again, unless we see something that is overly bearish like this, you know, I don't particularly see any imminent crash coming for SHIB anytime in the near future, to be honest with you. So definitely not the worst time that SHIB has been through. I really, really do see us managing to maintain support above the 42, 41-ish line here, and just kind of hanging out here for a little bit, hopefully. At least that's what time will tell. So let me check the relative strength index. You guys can see, of course, we are going to sort of evaluate from the volume, of course, how it fits into the daily price action. So again, you guys can see in multiple instances here, we are above the 70 spot on the relative strength index, meaning, again, we are overbought dramatically, and that, as a result, leads to us headed down, and we bounce basically back off the 50 line, right around the middle, right around where the relative strength index says, yes, this is the perfect balance of buy and sell volume based on the day's trading conditions. So, of course, you guys can see right around here, that's right around 46 at that time. So, you know, we essentially tried to stay somewhere around the middle, but then we fell through a little bit down to 44-ish, and then same thing, we fell through again down to almost 30, right around the 41, 42 line. But if you guys notice, you guys can see that the relative strength index is still near the bottom, so we have a lot of room to work our way up if we want to. With the relative strength index, we have a lot of room to move up, and I definitely do think that this is indicative of 41, 42-ish being the low, because we do have some room to work up. You know, we reasonably could head to 43, 44, 45 without running into any issues in terms of volume. Now, when we check out, of course, the Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see it's going to outline the top and bottom of the most recent run. So, of course, we have the top here right around 54 and the bottom here right around 41. And essentially, what this is telling us is that, yeah, we've basically fallen through the entire thing. However, the attempt at getting back to 23.6% would be a very noble one. And, of course, if we could do that, we would be able to sustain our price above 44. So it is possible we could sit above the 23.6% line and just kind of bounce off of there. That is very possible. Only time really will tell. So that means, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the amazing support on the channel. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids, and check out Webull down below in the description. My name is Matt, folks. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.